that's powerful because I mean, there's a lot of people out there that say that they'll get you results or they can make big promises and then you never hear back from them. And, there's a lot of people that don't really give a shit. And so that might be a separator for you and most. And so let's kind of like, really step back and maybe get you to answer the question that I think everybody needs this answer. And I know you know the answer, and that's really marketing, right? I mean, you have all of these self-employed people, all these independent contractors, all these people selling, whether it be insurance or investments or real estate or some multi-level business or product or a car salesperson, whatever. We all have one thing in common, man. If we don't have clients, we don't make money. So exactly. if you don't have any eyeballs, you don't make money. And that's why so many of these people fail, in my opinion. Most fail in most of these businesses that I just talked about because they don't have any eyeballs. Nobody knows who they are. And they don't realize that like we're in kind of a different world now. We're not back in 1990. This is 2020, which means everybody has the internet. People are scrolling every single day. It's almost like your phone. You ever sat down your phone and then you walked away from it and then you checked your pocket and you're like, oh shit, where's my brain? You know what I mean? Like, yep. Like literally Absolutely. Our phone is like a connection of our body now. It's the weirdest thing. And yep. So why do we need to market? Please just tell these people why they need to market.
Well, I mean, people got to know that you exist. That's the very first step, right? Like, and if they don't know you exist, if they're not aware of the solution that you can provide, because there are people out there looking. And what you were saying is that, yes, we are tied to the hip with our phones. And now we have the opportunity to meet those people exactly where they are, where, 20, 30, 40 years ago, all you could do, and this is, one thing that is a huge topic of conversation with a lot of businesses and brands that I speak with and work with, is that back then, yes, you had to go through the market research. You had to do test groups. You had to go through and try to get as much as you possibly can right, because you really only had one shot. You had to go out, you're spending millions of dollars to get on a TV commercial, radio, billboard, any type of traditional means. It wasn't cheap. You had to figure things out and you kind of had that one shot. And if it bombed, well, you just kind of had to move on, and unfortunately it didn't work out. Now we have the ability, and everybody has the ability to get in front of people that are looking for what it is they have to offer, that are able to relate with the person on the other side of the phone screen. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize. And one thing that I have realized, because I have gone through it myself, like I said, and that's one of the most powerful things, is that I can look at it and I can say, yes, that probably isn't going to work that well, or yes, that is going to work very well. But the biggest thing is just not to overthink it, because at the end of the day, it's just about putting your message out there. And it's the same stuff that has worked for decades, if not centuries, right? The more people see your brand, the more often, the more places they see it, the more they're going to start to trust it, the more they're going to build a relationship with it. And our phone having the ability to connect with people directly where they're at, people that are looking specifically for what it is you have to offer, it creates an opportunity that, yeah, we've never seen before. But I think a lot of people still don't quite realize how powerful it is by just getting.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that, Brandon? Why are people so resistant to building a brand, like really creating that? And we'll talk a little bit more about the fame formula, right? Why are people so resistant?
I think it's traditional. I think we're in a bit of the middle of a generational shift, right? Like you're starting, and I'm at the very end of millennial generation, right? So I came through, and whenever I started off, like I was cold calling, knocking on doors, 95-degree weather in suits, and getting kicked out of places and all that. And that's how I had to go out and generate business. And then over the years, as things progressed, curiosity lends myself, because I didn't want to have to rely solely on cold calling and networking and all this other stuff. One, I hated it. I don't like it. But I was like, if I want to grow, I have to be able to expand my message and really kind of multiply myself. How do I get out in front of more people? And that's whenever I really started working on getting in front of my phone and just practicing camera work and just kind of getting comfortable talking into a small hole. And I think a lot of people still have that traditional mindset of, and they do, I know this for a fact, because most people that I talk to, it's all about, they overthink it. It's perfectionism. It's paralysis by analysis. It's all of those things that stop them before they start. And they get worried that, well, I'm going to go out, I'm going to shoot this video, and maybe they want to run an ad with it, whatever, they're trying to do. You don't necessarily have to do that. You can just get yourself out in front of the camera and get it out in front of people. The algorithms are going to help you a lot. But at the end of the day, they're thinking about, well, what if I post this and it doesn't work? And they'll give it 48 hours to work. And I challenge everybody to flip that thinking. Like that is not the way in today's world. It's the quicker that you post it and get it out there, the faster and the more close you're going to be to getting it right. And it is not going to work early on. It's most likely you're not going to get anything from that first one, but you may learn this message worked very good. This got more engagement. Then you start building on top of that. And that's what marketing is just watching the data, testing, putting yourself out there. And if you just start, you'll start realizing that it's not. Authenticity wins. And I think over the next 5-10 years, trust and authenticity is going to be the number one driving factor of what people do business with. And I think it's going to really drive whether or not you're going to be set up for long-term success or not.
Well, you say authenticity. What does that mean? If somebody's just sitting there listening or watching, what exactly does that mean, authenticity?
Being yourself, obviously, is the easy answer. That's kind of the low-hanging fruit answer. But, being able to show people a little bit behind the scenes, being able to allow people in to what is happening when they may not be working with you, or allowing them to see what your true feelings or thoughts or how you talk and how you respond and have conversations, and being transparent, and not being afraid of that. Because there's one thing, obviously, whenever you start doing this, you're going to realize that there's a lot of people that think the way you do and like what you say and wish that they could do the same. And you'll see that. However, you're also going to see that there's a lot of people out there that it doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to like it. And you have to expect that and be okay with that. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's always been the way of the world. It's just now you have the ability, fortunately and unfortunately, to get that direct feedback. And that becomes part of that process as well. But you have to be able to just put yourself out there and show and let people see that, look, I'm not polished. I'm not some person. I tell people all the time, like, I'm never going to guarantee you that this ad campaign is going to make you a millionaire overnight. I'm never going to guarantee that. But what I will guarantee you is that we're going to bust our ass, and we're going to be as committed as you are to making sure that everything is working at the highest levels possible. We will be right there to help you identify where the bottlenecks are so that we eventually get there. I don't know if that's going to happen in a week, a month, or a year, but we're going to be right there and you're going to trust us. And that's what we can control. So that
Powerful.
type of authenticity is really what I'm referring to. And people see it if you start putting yourself out there.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.